Hello everybody, once again this is Jeffrey Daniel here coming to you from Abuja, Nigeria. Today is January 29th, 2021 on the Gregorian calendar, that is, okay? And I'm always going to tell you guys that that's according to their calendar, all right? Today's topic, you guys, is going to be a little lengthy, so I want you guys to get very comfortable, but these are things that I'm sure you guys are going to want to hear, going to want to get involved with, share your perspective, hear my perspective, because these are very, very, very challenging times right now. This is very pertinent information I'm going to share with you guys about what's going on, okay? As I tell you all the time, I'm not a news reporter, so I'm not here to report the news, because you guys can turn on the TV and see all of that. But I'm here to help us get a better perspective of what's going on, a better understanding of what's going on, so we can better comprehend, digest, and prepare ourselves for what we have to deal with, okay? Because we're all in this together. We're all in this together. Now, today's post is going to be titled, "The Enemy Within." The Enemy Within. It has been said that America would not be defeated by a foreign power, but from the enemy within, its own homegrown enemies within its own borders. As I always tell you all, I just don't look at issues face value. I tend to stay on the peripheral of these matters and get a wider perspective and see why and how these things culminate into the conditions that you are now reacting to. Anything I say is not meant to be discriminative towards any race or group of people or individuals, but I do endeavor to present to you with the incontrovertible truth, the necessary truth, the convenient truth, as well as the uncomfortable truth. So if any of you are allergic to the truth, here's your chance to excuse yourself before I go in on it and hurt your feelings. You got a chance to take that step. I'm taking off my gloves today, you guys. It's time to get grimy with the facts, because things are it's coming to a head. It's coming to a head. Things are getting kind of hectic. It's getting kind of hectic. These rappers knew what was going on, okay? So, here we go. So the United States of America was destined to fall, just like the other superpowers before it. Greek, Rome, Persia, China, Germany, and countless others. In fact, the only great civilization that did not fall victim to itself would be Kemet, which was renamed to Egypt by the invading Greeks. Now, Kemet, Egypt, was eventually overthrown by a succession of invading powers after surviving over 3,000 years as a golden dynasty. No other civilization has yet to enjoy such extensive longevity since Kemet, Egypt. And I'm going to get into that later, you guys, about all this renaming business that's been going on, okay? Because this is very important, and it's all connected, okay? So, what in the hell happened in Washington, D.C. at the Senate building? As America prepares for an internal war, many of you might be asking, what is this war about? Why now is the American government imploding on itself? What is the impetus of this internal conflict within a country considered the land of the free and a global superpower that has been envied by many nations for many decades? Well, the answer is pretty obvious to me. But you may have to take a step back and look at this great America and understand why is it considered so great and what made it so great. As I told you all in my earlier post, the United States of America isn't really a country at all. I know somebody, what? It's not a country? Yeah, I know. I live in a country. No, listen to what I have to say. Check this out, you guys. I'm bringing you guys stuff that they didn't teach you in your history classes, okay? All right. So anyway, the United States of America is not a country at all. It's an enterprise that was established by the King of England, King George III. America was meant to be another annexed colony of Great Britain, as was India, Hong Kong, several African countries, and so on. So just imagine Great Britain, this global superpower, still answering to Rome. Oh, and by the way, King George III of Great Britain was also Duke and Prince Elector of Brunswick-Lunenburg, Hanover, located in where? Germany. Do you guys know any of this? But it was part of the Holy Roman Empire. Did you guys know that? That Germany used to be part of the Holy Roman Empire. Brunswick, Lunenburg, which is called Hanover, all that was part of the Roman Empire, as England was, okay? Come on, you guys. I'm going to break this out for you now. I'm taking off my gloves this time. Isn't that interesting? You all didn't know to date, Britain still pays a tributary to Rome, just as the independent African countries still pay it to its former colonial masters. No one is ever totally independent after all. In their original treaties, the revenues coming out of America was to pay 40% to Britain and 60% to Rome. This is what happened when they set up the colonies in America, and King George sent them over there, and all these goods and services started coming out of there, the imports and export. 40% went to England, 60% went to Rome. Now you guys are thinking, Rome, what does Rome got to do with this? Hold on. So now, do you Christians understand why the cross was placed everywhere in your societies? It is the symbol of Roman dominance and always has been. It has nothing to do with your sweet Jesus. That's right. So, all you holy Christians walking around wearing a cross around your neck, or however you fashioned it, you're just showing your submission to the Pope and the Roman Empire. I don't like to get into religious conflicts and controversies and stuff, because religious people, they're so inculcated into what they've been taught to know that they can't see outside of it, just to entertain the possibility that something might be fishy. So it's difficult, you guys, but I'm telling you, the sign of the cross has always been a sign of Roman dominance. It was on the Roman shields, nothing to do with Jesus. The cross was on the first ships that sailed over from Spain over to the Americas, the Santa Maria and so on. And one of the first slave ships was called the Good Ship Jesus. What did it have on its sail? A cross. Okay, you Christians are going to have to get around this stuff and understand what's really, really going on historically, okay? Not just religiously, historically. How can you say, well, history doesn't matter because this is in the Bible, and just the Bible says. But weren't those events in the Bible happening at a historical point? Isn't that history? But the Bible isn't a history book. It omits history. And in fact, it omits dates. You don't really see dates in the Bible, which wouldn't work anyway, because now we're going by the Gregorian calendar. So that started long after supposedly Christ was here and all the biblical things. And they put this Gregorian calendar together and started us all over. Okay, this is when Christ died. So this is the year 1. Now this is the year 2 AD, 3 AD, and up to where we are now, 2021. Common Era, or AD as they used to say. But what about all the hundreds of thousands of years before the time of Christ? So all the calendars and everything have been thrown off, okay? This is what they've done. They've thrown off everything. Excuse me, so let me get back to the matter. Get back to the matter. America was never meant to be an independent sovereign nation as its own. And when you look at the original contracts and treaties, it actually, technically, still is not. So the British subjects who came to set up the colonies in America for the king decided they wanted to keep this prize for themselves and got tired of paying heavy taxes imposed on them by the British crown. So they staged the Boston Tea Party, and that was in 1773. Now, this is some funny stuff right here, you guys. Hold on. There's some really funny stuff that's going on. Check this out. The Boston Tea Party was against the Tea Act of May 10th in 1773, which allowed, now get this, listen, which allowed the British East Indian Company to sell tea from China in the American colonies without paying taxes. Let me see that again. Excuse me. It allowed the British East Indian Company to sell tea from China in America colonies without paying taxes. How do you even connect that? The British forming an East Indian Company getting tea from China to sell in the Americas. It is what it is. It is what it is. So basically, they just set up a good thing, and King George III of England wanted it all. And the English subjects, who were actually in the trenches of setting up these colonies, also wanted it all for themselves. So they had to come to blows and fight for control of this new land, which was already heavily populated by millions of indigenous people. So why am I bringing up this monument? Sorry, let me get that over again. So why am I bringing up this moment in American history? Is to try and help you all understand that you are all in the same precarious position today that the indigenous people were back in 1773. As the rulers continue to fight over who controls America, you are all just consequentially caught up in the middle. And it's not your war. You just believe that it's your country. Hang on. I'm going to connect the dots, you guys. I'll help you understand what's going on. I'm sorry to have to be the one to bring this to you, to bring this uncomfortable truth to you. Pledging allegiance to the flag with your right hand over your heart does not make it your country. You're just living under the illusion that it's your country. That uniform that your brother is so proud of wearing because he thinks he's protecting his country, when in actuality, he's just a hired security guard to help defend their property and their loot, and sent off to kill anyone that doesn't agree with them. So please follow me as I'm breaking down for you, okay? As Snoop Dogg used to say, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, but you bet not slip, because the year 2021 is the year for me to ish up some ish, okay? Okay, Snoop Dogg, okay, here you go. Anyway, please follow me, you guys, as I'm breaking it down for you, the origins of what you see is going on in Capitol Hill. It's all connected, you guys, okay? It's all related, so hang on. I'm just going back to the origins of why these things happen, and I'm helping you explain the genesis of all this, okay? Okay. You will never receive this historical and generational connection in your history class because it's all his story. Everything you know has been taught through a European perspective. Everything you know has been taught through a European perspective. Religion, history, science, math. It's all through European perspective. So, we are living in a world full of misnomers, endonyms, and exonyms. Now, allow me to explain that to you in layman terms. A misnomer is a name of a person or place that just doesn't really have any historical or geographical roots, such as a black man or a white man. These are misnomers because there is no sovereign country or flag called the Republic of Black or the Republic of White. Chinese come from China, Japanese come from Japan, Nigerians come from Nigeria, but people are called black and white or yellow or brown. These are just misnomers, okay? So those are your misnomers. Endonyms. An endonym is a common internal name of a group of people and geographical place used only by the cultural indigenous people that derives from their linguistic historical culture. Simple. Just like the people you all call Hawaiians today were known as Kanaka Maoli and Hawaii Maoli amongst themselves, but externally they're being called Hawaiians. Okay, now let me get to the exonyms. An exonym is a name for a people or geographical place used only outside by people external to that particular group. That's what you call an exonym. I was surprised the first time I went to Japan and was told that they didn't call themselves Japanese. They are Nihonjin. Do you guys know this? They call Japan Nihon. Therefore, they are Nihonjin. Okay? So, just as America was originally called Turtle Island. That's the original name of America by this indigenous people. Of course, that's the English translation because, Turtle Island, these are English words. But whatever their language, translated it to, in English, it's Turtle Island. Did you guys know that? America used to be called Turtle Island, okay? So, I was also surprised to find out that Nigeria was named by a British lady named Flora Shaw, the wife of Lord Lugard. Lugard was he was first a governor in Hong Kong, then Governor General of Nigeria. And Lagos, one of the most populated cities in the world today, was named by the Portuguese explorer Rui de Sequeira, I guess that's his name, Rui de Sequeira, because of the huge lagoon located there. Where I live in Lagos is very close to this lagoon, okay? Lagos actually means lakes. Lago de Curamo means lake of healing. That's what the Portuguese came and named it. Do you guys know the original name, the indigenous name of Lagos? Echo. Okay? So when you come and visit Lagos, you will see that there's the Echo Hotel. And the Yoruba have a saying, what is it? Echo onibaje, Echo onibaje, that means Echo won't fail, Lagos won't fail, okay? So anyway, you guys, this is what's been going on over the centuries, okay? Coming around and giving all these endonyms and exonyms and misnomers to everything and everybody and confusing history. So now we can't go back properly and chronologically line up things because names have been changed. Things have been distorted. All up and down Africa. Cameroon means shrimps. The country Cameroon. Gabon. These are not African names. These are names that these colonialists and these people came in. Nigeria. Nigeria is not an African name. It was named Nigeria by, what's his name? What's the lady's name? Flora Shaw. I think that'd be a lovely name for the people there. Let's name it Nigeria. And there you have it. That's Nigeria, okay? So why am I revisiting this historical endonyms and exonyms? Is to give you a complete view of how the Europeans have renamed whole cultures in an attempt to own and control whole civilizations. But even after they established their insidious machinations, they turned on each other for total control. Greed and power begets more greed and power. It's a never-ending cycle, you guys. And this is what they're left with, okay? So, I have also told you all before that a real nation is based on the indigenous people or first settlers there, based on their indigenous language, culture, and civilization that developed in that location. So how can the United States be a nation in North America when the English language, the English culture and religions and people are not indigenous to that location? Do you get me? So how can it be a real nation? Okay? So, from the War of Independence in 1775 to break away from the king, to the Civil War in 1861 to break away from their own union, we are now on the precipice of a second civil war in 2021 as the same factions that have been in control of the American society want to control it all their way and for themselves. We're just consequentially caught up in this thing. It really has nothing to do with us. It's the same people who fought to break away from their king, who fought to break away from each other before, back in 1861 in the Civil War, and now they're back at it again. This is what's going on, you guys. So I'm explaining to you guys what happened at Capitol Hill, what's continuing to happen in that society. So What does it mean to own or control America? They say, this is our country. We're taking our country back. This is our country. We're taking our country back. How do you take back something that doesn't even belong to you? What they mean is they are determined to maintain their privileged position of dominance within the society and not allow other races to ascend too far up the social ladder. That's what they mean. And did you see all the MAGA hats at the insurrection? You know, everybody was wearing these MAGA hats and MAGA shirts or whatever. Make America Great Again is referring to which era of greatness? When was America great in their minds? Well, let's now look at the flags they brought to the insurrection and planted in the Senate building, the Citadel of American democracy. We saw the Stars and Stripes flag. That's the official American flag. We saw Trump flags. That's those flags. We saw QAnon flags. We saw big Qs there. We saw the Confederate flag and the golden 1778 revolutionary Don't Tread on Me flag. These are the flags they brought into the Senate, into the Senate building, chanting, "We want our country back. This is our country." And they're bringing all these flags there to plant in there. So, are they attempting to take us back to the revolutionary days of 1778? We no longer have musket guns, bayonets, or cannons. Or are they taking us back to the Jim Crow era? Because the actual, check this out, you guys, check this out. The actual Confederate flag was never used as the original official flag of the CSA, the Confederate States of America, that they were trying to implement back then. They rejected that flag. It was only used as the battle flag during the Civil War. That's when they broke out those Confederate flags, okay? But, however, it was widely used during the Civil Rights Movement as a response to federal civil laws being passed in the 1950s and the 1960s. So that Confederate flag is actually just a symbol of racism against the advancement of black people, Jews, and other ethnic races. Did you guys hear what I'm telling you? That Confederate flag was never officially accepted during the Confederate and Union Civil War, but they brought it out on the battlefield anyway. They brought it out on the battlefield. It was a battle flag. But the first time it was really used extensively was during the civil rights movement of the 1950s and the 1960s. This is what the Confederate flag really represents. And now I understand it because I misunderstood and I thought that the Confederate flag was the official flag of the Confederate. Come to find out that it wasn't. So it's just a failed flag all around. All the way you look at it, it's a rejected and failed flag. And they're dragging that damn thing out in 2021. What is on these people's mind? They're telling you what's on their mind. They're showing you what's on their mind. Make America great again. Great in what context? Okay? And to be honest, why would having non-white citizens in position of power or politics even threaten these white extremists? Look at the history of blacks in the American society. At which point have we ever posed a national threat? And if you want to be real about it, we have only made your life much more enjoyable and comfortable in every area of society. In medicine, a black doctor performed the very first open heart surgery, and a black doctor invented the blood bank, okay, which saves lives daily today. And Otis Boykin improved the pacemaker. This is what black people have done. In science, black inventors created the GPS system. Her name is Miss Gladys West. She created the GPS system. What she did was she positioned the whole planet Earth for them, and they found a way to digitize that and created the GPS, which is used in every ship, every airplane. It's on every mobile phone. I mean, the GPS is just such an integral part of our society today, and it was created, and I'm gonna say her name. Her name is Miss Gladys West. She invented the GPS system, a black woman. The cellular system was created by a black inventor, which was the invention of cell phones. For your young generation, you call them mobile phones, okay? There were cell phones. Remember, they used to be called cell phones at first because they were created from the cellular system. Okay, that's also created by a black inventor. All right. The first IBM supercomputer was created by a black man. Now, they say he created with a team of people, but he also holds 3 of the patents. He has 3 of the 6 patents or 6 of the 3 patents, whatever the thing may be. He owns, you guys can look all this stuff up. The black inventor of the IBM supercomputer. You can see this stuff. But if you don't know what to ask, you don't know what to get, you know. So he invented the first IBM supercomputer, and he even owns patents on it, okay? But he had to share the patents, okay? The light bulb, even though Edison stole or bought out a plethora of patents, people are giving Edison the credit for everything. But it was really the brother in the back who helped really create the light bulb. Edison may have had an idea and be working on something. This brother did it. He's the one who put the firmament thing in the middle or something that can burn for a very long time. He's the one that put that, and the light came on and it continued to burn and continued to burn until it's burning today, shining on me right now. Okay? All right. If it wasn't for that, our PC screens wouldn't light up. Our mobile phones wouldn't be lit up. Our homes wouldn't be lit up. Traffic signals wouldn't be hit up. Traffic signal, let me get to that. None of this would be lit up, okay? All right? The refrigerator and the traffic signal and the face mask. Now, let me tell you guys what's so important about the face mask, because there was a mining accident, and this brother was already working on the face mask, okay? So, these people were trapped in a mine, and this brother came along and said, I think I've got some. He put on this mask with the oxygen thing. He went in there and pulled bodies out one by one. That was the beginning of the face mask. Not the COVID-19 face mask, okay? The one that you can breathe in. Because he invented that, next came the scuba diving mask. Next came space helmets. I'm just scratching the surface on how black inventions and contributions have done so much to help the American and world society become a much more comfortable and convenient place. I'm not saying other people didn't create things. I'm telling you what we did, because everything we did for some reason gets omitted and swept under a carpet, and people don't like to talk about what we do. And I'm sure none of you knew that a black lady named Gladys West created the GPS system. Our black man created the IBM supercomputer. I'm sure you guys are the traffic signal. The traffic signals are all over the world helping to conduct traffic, even though you guys run red lights anyway. Even though people, but a black man invented the traffic signal. Look this up, Google this stuff. Now that I'm telling you guys can follow this up. So let me continue, you guys. In sports, music and entertainment, I'm sure you all know these shining stars. So I don't have to go through that, okay? Because these are the most, prevalent and acknowledged things that black people do. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Venus and Serena Williams, and, Naomi Osaka are, we're quick to know that, the entertainers, Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube and, P. Diddy and, Missy Elliott, Busta Rhymes and da-da-da, Shalimar. Okay, we know those things. But why don't they exalt the people who are contributing to the necessities of our society, the things that are saving lives, the things that are making our society more whole? They don't like to talk about those things. So we have to take a shovel and dig for this information. And I'm your shovel guy today, you guys, okay? So I'm digging it up and I'm dishing it to you guys, okay? All right? So, I like this part right here, you guys. Check this out. We even smoothen out the English language into a more sexy and melodic drawl, making some of you white dudes cool enough to attract women from all walks of life. So you guys you really have to appreciate that. If it wasn't for us, you guys would still be talking like Harry Potter. No offense to the English, because I love the English accent and the English language. I used to try to do Dick Van Dyke in, was it Mary Poppins? Until I went to England, and they told me that the Dick Van Dyke English accent was rubbish. I thought, really? Well, to us, all right, Mary Poppins, all right, just a teaspoon of sugar makes the medicine go down. I mean, for us, that was like magical. And then you get to England and they go, no, no, that was rubbish. That was rubbish. So anyway, listen how we talk. Why do you think Brad Pitt is so cool? Why do you think George Clooney is so cool? Because they got that black thing and swag in their thing. That's how they talk. They don't talk like the Dan Aykroyd type character, the typical white, corporate type guy, all right, George, well, we're going to get the, we got the portfolio on the, we can get a return on the revenue. And, so, now we got white guys going, yo, what's up, man? What's happening? Oh, yeah, it's cool. All right. It's on, it's cool, even chop knuckles and, what's up? Give them a little hug and, everyone's adapted that. Come on, black people are giving swag to the planet, you guys. In Japan, in Korea, everywhere. I don't know about the Chinese, but yeah, my Chinese brothers in Singapore, of course, and some of them in Hong Kong, but I'm talking about mainland China. When I say the Chinese, you guys, talk about mainland China, because I got some cool Chinese family, you guys, around the world too. So my brother Russell Wong, he talks more black than I do, okay? Russell Wong, photographer extraordinaire, okay? But anyway, so look how much we contribute to society. So why would people feel threatened by us, of all people, by us? Okay? So, why would anyone have trepidations about sharing your society with such a beautifully gifted, generous people who have never ever been the aggressor toward you? Yes, we have reacted to oppression as any human or animal would instinctively do. Your humane form of oppression created Marcus Garvey, Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Khalid Muhammad, Leo Muhammad, the Black Panther Party, and so on and so forth, all the way up to the George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movements. If not for such abuses against the black race, there never would have been a need for us to try and defend ourselves. We have never been the aggressors. So what is their fear based on? The thought of losing their ill-gotten privileged places in society? Come on, you guys. Think about it and think hard. If you want to say the Nat Turner revolt, those people were being highly oppressed and abused slaves. I hate to call them slaves, but they're in a system of captivity, and they're fighting to get away from that. So that's your Nat Turner, that's your Harriet Tubman. The Black Panther Party itself, as I told you before, they were established to help protect the black community from police brutality. If it wasn't for us being brutalized, there never would have been a Black Panther Party. Okay? So I'm not trying to, like, black people are guilt-free, or we've never done any harm or anything like that, but I'm telling you how we are reacting to the things that have been visited upon us. And this is our reaction to these things. We are not the aggressors in this thing. Now, when you see these extremist groups and these white supremacist groups, which I don't call them white supremacists, I call them white inferiorists. There's nothing supreme about being racist. But when you see these groups going out talking about Jews this and nigger this and this, that, and this is our country, these people are out on a mission. They are the aggressors. They are the aggressors. Okay? The Republicans in Congress have now decided to stand behind Donald Trump. I don't like to fumble, you guys. I'm getting tongue-tied, so let me start again. The Republicans in Congress have decided to stand behind Donald Trump, even after he incited an insurrection. Why am I getting tongue-tied, you guys? Let me get a little bit of water. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. Okay, so I'm good. Okay, let me come back. And you guys, I do it as it is. I don't chop and cut it up. Okay, here we go. The Republicans in Congress have decided to stand behind Donald Trump, even after he incited an insurrection against the Senate chamber while they were assembled to certify Joe Biden's electoral votes. Votes that were legally contested in the courts of law and thrown out for lack of evidence for any voter fraud. And votes that were recounted several times by a system with Republicans looking on. And now any Republican that gave the official vote results, which proclaimed Biden the lawful winner of the elections, are now being targeted for telling the truth and doing their sworn constitutional duty. And you guys are sitting back like, I don't mean you guys, who are against it, but these Republicans and members of the Republican Party. I don't mean all Republicans, because not all Republicans are Trumpsters, but these lawmakers are sitting back and allowing this to happen. Are they really willing to absolve Trump of committing such a horrendous crime against the very Constitution that they are sworn under oath to serve and protect? That's a direct assault against the sanctity of law and order and the fabric of the American Constitution. If any of us common people commit any federal offenses, we will all face maximum penalties, just like the insurrectionists that are now facing serious jail time for their part in desecrating the Senate building, while Trump gets away scot-free after inviting and inciting them into doing it. And they want this guy. And you know what their argument is? What they're saying in Congress when people are trying to convict Trump for what he incited and what he caused to happen? Okay, you guys, but that was 2 weeks ago. Can we move on? Wow. Do I have a statute of limit? If I go and rob a bank, are they going to give me a 2-week statute of limitations? Come on, you guys. What does 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks have to do with anything? That stuff happened, and it needs to be answered for the way we would have to answer for it, the way we have to answer for our taxes, the way we have to answer for any crimes that we commit. And they think that Donald Trump could just walk away free. So then what precedent is that setting for the rest of the nation, that if the leader can commit high crimes, high federal crimes, and just walk, what template does that set for the rest of the nation? Then, okay, then we can all do that. Hey, that, come on, you guys, it's not making sense. So once again, I have to remind you of another video I posted. I warn, if Trump is not taken out of political arenas and allowed to stay in power, I fear we may see the same repeat of history that brought Hitler to the helm of power in Germany. Hitler tried to stage a coup attempt against the German government, and it failed. He was jailed for his crimes, but upon his release from prison, he regathered his extremist radical groups and formed the notorious Nazi Party and came back with a vengeance. I hope you're all paying attention to this. You Republicans, you're playing with the devil, and you'll only get burnt in the end. If you guys do not stop Donald Trump and get him out of the political arena, this guy, they're already going down to Florida and meeting with him right now. They're talking with him right now. If this guy comes back, trust me, he's going to come back with a vengeance. And even you, some of you Republicans that are supporting it, you're going to be a victim of it too. Watch and see, because this guy doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about America. He cares about himself. And I think one of the reasons why he was so strongly fighting to stay in power, because he didn't want to come out of office and lose his diplomatic immunity to have to face all these lawsuits and legal cases that are piled up against him and money that he owes. He's trying not to face these things, you guys. And in New York, in the state of New York, he has to answer for his taxes. So this guy has a plethora of things against him that he has to deal with once he comes out of the political arena. And I think that's why he's trying to stay in. And you guys are supporting that? You're being so subservient for a guy's personal ego? A solipsistic person who doesn't really give a heck about America, because once he lost that election against Joe Biden, he was no longer your president. Not that he really was, but he didn't care about the vaccines. He didn't care about coronavirus. He didn't care about the economy. He didn't care about people starting to get evicted. He didn't care about people not having money to eat with, because the election was in November, and when Christmas and New Year's and all that was coming along, he didn't care about any of that, you guys. He was playing golf, and he was only fighting to try and overturn the election results. Not the election, because the elections were conducted fair and square, and they were accounted for, and he was after the results. Finding ways to criminally try and turn over those elections, you guys. And the guy's got to pay. He's got to pay. Okay? So, America is now witnessing a very volatile and pivotal moment in history that could be the end of American democracy, and it has been celebrated and admired around the world. If American democracy goes rogue, that will be the signal and ripple effect for the rest of the world's governments to follow suit. There will be collapses in governments globally that have held onto democracy with a thin thread, and give governments that have never practiced democratic policies in the first place a reason to strengthen their grip on tyranny and oppression against their own societies and rival adversaries. Look what's going on in Russia right now, you guys. This guy Navalny or whoever that they tried to poison and kill, but he recovered and took off. He stayed out of Russia for a few months. Now he's returned to Russia, and they put his butt in jail, and he's held prisoner. And now Russians are out in the street. They're protesting, and the police are out there beating people down for standing up for this guy. This is the type of stuff that's just going to be so common. It happens in other countries. It happened in some Middle Eastern countries. They have an iron fist. North Korea has an iron fist. Some African countries have an iron fist like that. But America has been the shining beacon of democracy and trying to show the way, or trying to show people that we can be this way, you guys, even though they're not that way, but they're still showing people symbolically that we can be this way. If that beacon goes down, you guys, what kind of planet is this going to be? So these next few weeks and months are going to determine how the future of America and the world will be shaped and conducted for centuries to come. It's a much bigger issue than an aggrieved former president who lost an election trying to stay in power. This is a fight for American white supremacy. That's what's happening in America, you guys, and you got to face the truth. How do we know this to be evident? Look at the sea of faces at the insurrection and the faces of the people who seized the inner chambers and offices in the Senate building. The very few faces of color in attendance only represent those confused ethnic people who got caught up in the current by thinking that they belonged. So, what happens if the insurrectionists were to succeed in their coup attempt and take over the American government? They will eventually turn on themselves for more power struggles, just as they did after taking America from King George III. So once they band together and take something from someone, then they look around and say, well, shit, but I want this. Okay, I mean, it's a never-ending cycle, you guys. So when you don't really work for something and obtain it by ill-gotten means, you tend to take things for granted and not appreciate it as much as the indigenous people who cultivated the land and culture over a long period of time. As they say, there's no honor among thieves, especially among the enemy within. So, what is the moral of all this? Are these American extremists and white supremacists telling the world that they are incapable of coexisting on an equal plane with humanity unless they are in control and trying to render all other races subservient to them? Is this what they're trying to tell us? Ever since they emerged from the Caucasus Mountains and discovered ethnic races, we actually have always been living together, you guys. Do you all know who the Romans are? Do you all know who the Romans really are? They always talk about the Roman Empire. You know, Caesar, Augustus this, and Thaddeus Phidias, and biggest, whatever, you know. But Rome is not really a country, so to speak. It was an amalgamation of different races, mainly from around the Mediterranean area, including Egypt, North Africa, and Greece, all those places around there. The indigenous people of Italy were the Etruscans, who were a people of color. Look this up, you guys. The indigenous people of Italy were the Etruscans. Now you'll see a couple of other names there, but the dominating people were the Etruscans, and they were the colored people. Those were the people there until the people came out of Persia by way of Greece, by way into Rome, and they set up these governments in all these indigenous places, and they take over. This is what they do. But for some odd reason, every time we see gladiator movies about Rome, everyone seems to magically be Caucasian, except for the dark slaves. The city of Rome was never a homogeneous people or society. You guys are going to find this out. Since the inception of the United States of America, we have always lived together, disproportionately, but nonetheless, we have always lived together. For them, with a codependence on us for enriching their enterprises with free labor. Truth be told, we never needed Europeans for anything. We had everything we ever needed, and we utilized it to its optimal best in harmony with nature and humanity. We only developed a need for the Europeans from trying to survive within the confinements of a European paradigm. You see, so once you guys put us in your society, therefore we have a dependency on the needs and things that are going on in your society, trying to get a job in your society, trying to survive in your society, trying to get a place to live in your society, trying to keep up with the things of convenience and luxury in your society. You know, we had a totally different outlook and how can I say, we had a totally different perspective on what was luxury and what was not. What are the essentials of life and what was not? Until we get into a European society and all these things just get overturned. Now everything is about materialism. You know, back in the days, I could dance and the girls thought I was cute. You know, today's contact, what's he driving? Where does he live? How much money he got? What is this? Da-da-da. It's all about materialism. It's all about materialism. Back in the old days in Africa, it was about if this man could go out there and hunt for something, if he was strong enough to provide for his family, if this guy was strong enough to fight to protect his village and protect his ethnic group. That's what made you strong, not maybe how much land you own or how much livestock you own, how many children you had, sometimes how many wives you had. That's what we based these things on back in those days. But now, money, which humans created money. Some money has less value than other money. But this is what we base all of our, priorities on today. Materialism, right? And this is what's going on a global scale out of Europe into all these other indigenous countries that they didn't discover, because how do you discover something that's already been populated for thousands of years? From their perspective, they went and discovered these places, but how do you go and get to these places? And then you just want to control, you want to take over, you just want to be their God, you want to be their ruler, their Lord, their king, their this, their that. This is what's going on. And then once they do establish it, then they start fighting among themselves for the control. As I said before, all this stuff about going to Mars. Oh, we're going to go to Mars. We're going to set up a colony on Mars. If you guys can't get it right on Earth first, what in the hell are you going to do up on Mars? You're going to be up there fighting over racial things or class issues or, come on, you guys, stop it. Stop it. You're going to drag all this baggage to another planet. If you can get there, if you can land there safely, if you can survive there, if you could even make it there safely, you're going to drag all this baggage across the universe because you haven't even got it right here first. You won't even get it right here first. America is now in the spotlight, and we're going to see what happens to America and how they're going to deal with this. It's not about Republicans and Democrats. It's about humanity. It's about right and wrong. It's about good and evil. All Democrats aren't on the right side of law, the right side of humanity. All Republicans aren't on the wrong side. I keep stressing this. Not all Republicans are racist. Not all Republicans think that way. They just happen to be members of the Republican Party. Now, on the other hand, not all Democrats even think likewise of equality in that. Some of them do. I think predominantly the Democrats do. But yet to be seen, look what Joe Biden has done. He has just assembled the most culturally, racially diverse administration in the history of the American government. That's a step in the right direction. I said months ago, post back, you guys go back and see, I said any multiracial society, its government should be a reflection of the people in its society. Therefore, everybody can get a fair share, All right, so let me move on with this, you guys. If anything, it should be us wanting to be superior to you in order to stop you from destroying the earth and humanity with all your destructive devices. But we are too innately a spiritual and peaceful people to a fault. Did you guys hear that Bill Gates had gotten together with the Harvard University, and because of the global warming, which Trump administration was denying, but because of the global warming, they wanted to sprinkle sulfate particles into the upper stratosphere to try to deflect the sun in order to try and stop global warming. What kind of Frankenstein monster idiotic crap is that? Because whenever you introduce anything artificial into nature, there's going to be some backlash, some side effect. I'm not a scientist, and I know that. I can't say I'm not a scientist, because do you know what science is? Science is the observation and understanding of things that are. Okay? Now, I might not have a degree in academia as being a scientist, but a scientist is a person who observes and understands nature in our environment. Because scientists don't create nature. Nature was here before they got here. So don't get hung up on the word scientist. So anyway, Bill Gates and these scientists want to get together and introduce this stuff into our atmosphere to try to deflect. Now, I don't know if they're doing it or actually going to do it, but this is what they had on their plate talking about doing. This is the kind of stuff you guys are doing. You Europeans coming up, that's why our oceans are polluted, our air is polluted. We're supposed to breathe pure oxygen. That's how the world was up until a few hundred years ago. We were breathing oxygen. Now we got all these pollutants in the oxygen from automobiles, from factories, from airplanes, from all this stuff. We're cooking with gas. We're To make life more convenient, you guys are willing to destroy the planet. And this is a European concept, European construct. This stuff did not happen in the old world. Not in Asia, not in Japan, not in China, not in Africa, not in the Brazilian rainforest and all these places. You did not see these things going on. I'm not just trying to blame the people. And I said some truths are uncomfortable, you guys. So if this is an uncomfortable truth, you guys are just going to have to digest it or excuse yourself, because this is where we're at today because of all of these inventions. They said soon there's going to be more plastic in the ocean than fish, but we're still producing plastics. And we all have become dependent on these things, okay? So, we're going to have to find a way to get back in balance with nature, or else all this is going to be gone. This is all going to be gone, all right? So, they finally got around to putting the warning on cigarette packages that this can be hazardous to your health, after being told for how many decades that cigarettes were helping to cause cancer. And they were denying it, because these people were making so much money. This is how their system works. Sugar. The Europeans got a hold of sugar from the sugar plantations in Jamaica and these places, and they started manufacturing sugar in the 1800s. And then sugar became just such a staple product in all households and all stores and stuff. And that just shot everybody's blood sugar up. Now we got diabetes. We got all these other problems because sugar makes your body become acidity. And when your body becomes acidity, now that's a breeding ground for all these other diseases, cancers and all these other things that are going on. Sugar used to come naturally from plants and things like that. All this processed sugar, processed flour, all these things are harmful for the body, and it's killing us slowly, you guys. So that's what I mean by, if you allow us to bring things back to the more natural order of life, we'll all be healthy. We can bring health and longevity and real human life back to this planet again, you guys. How can this happen? You guys are so far gone, but this is, I'm telling you guys what it is. Look, as I say, you never have to agree with me. This isn't something for you to just agree with me. I'm just disseminating the information and the knowledge to you. You guys can go and look it up for yourselves, okay? And if anything you find that I'm saying is refutable, if you can refute anything I say, you guys, then I will apologize and take it back, okay? Because I don't get my knowledge from just one source. I get it from various sources and I weigh it out. Anything that tells you that this one book is the only place that you can get this knowledge from, you better run like hell. Anything that says you don't need to look outside this book is all you need. For anyone to be telling you that means that they're trying to put blinders on you. They don't want you to know outside of that. That's why they're telling you that. So anything that tells you you only need this one thing, and that one thing only, you better run like hell. You better run like hell, because it's suspect from the gate, okay? So, can we ever get along peacefully as Joe Biden envisions? Well, it seems the Republican leaders are only willing to get along peacefully if we allow them and their dominant races and unequal policies to rule. And this is where we're at, you guys. This is where we're at. So, in the next days, weeks to come, they are prepared and anticipating attacks from the, I guess, the far right people. They're talking about leaving the Capitol building and all that permanently fenced around. The mayor of DC is not really happy with that, so they're working on these things. But why would they even have to contemplate that? Think about this, you guys. In just a few days, look how far things have been thrown out of position. And this is what we're dealing with. I know I'm getting winded, and I know this is getting long. Forgive me for some of my tongue-tiedness going along the way, you guys, but I'm trying to break this down. Forgive me for going back in history to try to bring it forward to help you understand why these things are happening. You see that I don't just look at what's going on and just bitch about what's going on. I try to get to the root of what this is and how this is happening. I get to the impetus of these things. I get to the origins of these things to help you guys see why this is happening. So you won't be like, man, what's going on? Why is this happening? You know, why is this going on now? So, okay, I'm getting long-winded, you guys. I want to break this up. I see that my time is going overboard. Thanks for listening to me, guys. Anybody who wants to subscribe, if you want to follow me, please give me your feedback. I want to hear what you think about what I'm saying, about what's going on. We're all in this together. I'm right with you. My lockdown beard is coming back again, you guys. You see, I've got on my my Northern Nigeria gear happening today. I had it all on today earlier, but I came in and I changed a little to make myself get comfortable for this. As I always say, spread the love and make love great again. If you make love great again, we will all be great. All of us will be great. And you guys have to make that song our mantra. I'm telling you guys, go on YouTube, tell your friends about it, about it. Jeffrey Daniel, Make Love Great Again. It's on Spotify, it's on YouTube, it's on iTunes. Make love great again. What more can we ask for? Because if we make love great again, we will all be great. Love is the answer. Love will conquer all. We can help make this planet a better place all over again. I love you guys. You guys know me all over the world. I have family all over the world. I just don't make friends, I make family. In Asia, in Africa, in Europe, in America. Europeans, we have such a great relationship with each other. I love you guys. You know, history speaks for itself. I don't go around holding every individual person for what happened in history, for what their forefathers may have done or what may have been done. I can only hold you accountable for what you're doing about it today. What we're being accounted for what we're doing today, okay? That's what I'm talking about. When I say the Europeans, I don't mean every individual person. I mean the system that's coming out of Europe and the system that they're created are those of you who are being complacent and complying with it. Okay, then I'm talking about you. But unless not, you know, I've got godsons in the UK. Lewis, what's up, Lewis Tramner? You know, I've got family in the UK. Craig David and Stelios and Jamie Little, and I mean the list goes on and on. People who I dearly love in the UK. If I'm forgetting people, I'm just thinking and talking fast. Forgive me, you know. So this is not. I'm not a racist person. I couldn't spend a moment of my life being racist. I can't waste my time on something so. It's. I don't know. And to see racism come to the forefront and try to steer the American government in a certain direction. It's going to be up to everybody to stop that from happening, because the next step for you people who are in on it and think that it's a smart move, what do you think the next step is going to be? Once that they get us out of your way, they're going to be in your way. That's how it happens. That's how all the other great civilizations have collapsed. And it was said before, America would not be defeated by a foreign power. America can only be defeated by the enemy within. I love you guys. Make love great again. Stay safe from Corona. Take care of your families and loved ones. Check on each other for depression because people are getting depressed. Take care. Bye-bye.